As you can see, we're working on this saw, and so we've got a saw that needs, I'm going to re-tip it. It has too many broken teeth in it, as you can see, and usually when it's over 50% of the teeth are broken, I might as well just change it because you want them all uniform. So what we have here is a pretty bad situation where they hit nails pretty hard. This actually does hit nails every once in a while. It's a purpose-built saw for hitting nails every once in a while, but we have one shoulder that needs to be corrected here. So what I'll do is I'll grind that shoulder in, grind it back, and re-pocket it so I can get a tip in it, because of course I couldn't put another carbide tip in there. You know, the tip sits just like that in that pocket. You can see it with my finger, just like that. But here we can't because it's busted out, so it's leaning back like that, so I got to re-pocket it. So I'll put this back. What I'm going to do is take all the tips out. And how we do that, you just heat them up until they're red and then pop them out. Even though there's not a tip there, I always heat it up and knock it out just in case. And there's carbide in there. If there's any carbide in there, no matter what, you might as well check and get it out, because if it's there, it's just going to give you trouble the whole time. That's why I'm using a wire brush, because I'm going to make sure I scrape it all out really well. Because there's nothing more annoying than a little tiny piece of carbide in there that you can't see. Sometimes it's there, you can't see it, and you try to put a tip in, and you can't get it to seat right, and you don't know why. It's just a mess. But I ground them all a little tiny bit, but I did repair that one. And I'll show you. I can get to it, because I made them look the same. It's that one right there, and you can't even hardly tell the difference, can you? It's almost identical to the rest of them. See that one and that one and that one. And the only reason you can tell is probably because it's shorter, but it's still going to serve its job. You cut it back any farther and keep cutting it, and it's going to get really small, and then you have to start over with a new blade or weld the whole thing back in. But I don't recommend that, because that's a possibility of breaking out again. Alright. Okay, what I'm going to do now is show you how we solder these tips in. You'll see it. You know, the torque's a little loud. Could cut it down just for demonstration. I've got it torch hot because I can do it a little bit faster. And I'm going to turn it down so that way you can hear it and watch. So, as you can see, here we go. See that silver solder just ooze in there. I like to get it all melty and nice like Play-Doh, and then I can keep it all uniform, keep that heat uniform across that tip. It's very, very skillful. It can't be too hot or too cold. It's got to be just right. Too cold, tips will just come out, pop right out of there. Too hot, you'll temper the steel behind the tips, and you'll end up fracturing the whole shoulder of the tooth behind the tip. And when you do that, it's a nightmare, because you either have to weld back the saw and build it up, or throw it away and pay for another blade for the customer. And nobody wants to do that, because this is a big hassle, and that's a lot of loss of money. So I don't let a lot of people do this until they've really got a lot of experience. What we'll do is practice with a whole bunch of crappy blades that we're not going to use, and tip them and whatever. And then I'll go back behind them and check them and all that. The goal, though, is in the future to have an automatic tipper. They make automatic ones, which they're very expensive, so that may never happen, but I hope it will. But anyway, that's how we do it.